Imagine standing at the edge of your potential, knowing there's something greater inside you but feeling stuck. You see others succeed, people who seem to have cracked the code, and you wonder, what's their secret? Here's the truth. Success is not about talent, luck, or being in the right place at the right time. It's about a mindset, a process, a blueprint. And today, we're going to break it down step by step. If you've ever felt like you were meant for more, but didn't know how to get there, this is for you. Too often, we measure success by external milestones. Hitting a sales target, getting a promotion, buying a house. And while goals give us direction, they don't give us fulfillment. Because here's the thing, goals are just checkpoints. They are markers along the way, but they are not the reason we start. Think about it. Have you ever achieved a goal only to feel a strange emptiness afterward? That's because goals alone don't create lasting motivation. They don't sustain us when things get hard. What does? Purpose. Purpose is deeper than any goal. It's the reason we wake up in the morning, the force that keeps us going when we face rejection, obstacles, or setbacks. It's the internal engine that drives us forward, even when the finish line seems far away. Without purpose, goals become meaningless. With purpose, every step, no matter how small, feels significant. Look at the most successful individuals, the ones who have changed industries, pioneered movements, or built legacies that last generations. What do they have in common? Purpose creates resilience. When you know why you do what you do, you're willing to endure more, push harder, and stay committed even when others quit. Challenges don't break you, they refine you. Setbacks don't define you, they shape you. Purpose allows you to view struggles as part of the journey rather than roadblocks to success. And purpose isn't something you find, it's something you uncover. It's already inside you. It's in the moments when you lose track of time doing something you love. It's in the problems you feel called to solve. It's in the work that excites you even when no one is watching. It's in the impact you want to leave behind. But here's where most people get it wrong. They chase goals without questioning the why behind them. They pick careers based on what's expected, not what excites them. They pursue success without defining what success really means to them. And so they achieve things that look good on paper, but feel empty in reality. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine defining success on your terms. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that what you're working toward actually matters. Imagine making decisions not based on pressure or expectation, but on passion and conviction. That's the power of purpose. And when you have it, success stops being something you chase. It becomes something you create. We live in a world obsessed with results. We celebrate victories, highlight achievements, and glorify the final product. We are drawn to stories of success, but we rarely talk about the process that led there. The late nights, the failures, the doubts, the small, seemingly insignificant steps taken day after day. But here's the truth. Success is not about the outcome. It's about the process. Think about an athlete training for the Olympics. The world sees the moment they stand on the podium, gold medal in hand. But that moment is just a fraction of their journey. What we don't see are the years of training, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the days when nothing seemed to go right. If an athlete only focused on the medal, they would never make it. The ones who succeed are the ones who fall in love with the training, who show up every day, who push through discomfort because they know that excellence is built in the unseen moments. And it's not just in sports, it's in every area of life. Writers don't create masterpieces in a single sitting, they write, edit, delete, and rewrite. Entrepreneurs don't build successful businesses overnight. They endure years of uncertainty, failed ideas, and tough decisions. Musicians don't become legends by playing only when they feel inspired. They practice when no one is listening, when the notes don't sound right, when progress feels painfully slow. The problem is that most people give up too soon because they are chasing quick results. They start something, and when they don't see immediate success, they quit. They launch a business, and when it doesn't take off right away, they assume they're not cut out for it. They start learning a skill, but when progress feels slow, they think they lack talent. But the real secret? The ones who succeed are not necessarily the most talented. They are the ones who stay committed to the process. They understand that growth happens in the doing, not in the finishing. They know that every failure teaches something, every repetition builds skill, every challenge strengthens resilience. And here's the paradox. The more you focus on the process, the more the outcome takes care of itself. The best authors don't sit down to write a bestseller. They commit to writing every single day. The best athletes don't train just to win. They train because they love the challenge. The best leaders don't aim for power. They focus on serving, learning, and improving. But embracing the process requires patience. It means showing up when progress is invisible. It means trusting that the small things add up, that consistency beats intensity, that mastery is not built in a day, but in a lifetime of effort. It means shifting your mindset from how fast can I succeed to how deeply can I grow? Because the real joy, the real fulfillment doesn't come from reaching the finish line. It comes from the journey, the lessons learned, the challenges overcome, the person you become along the way. Success is never a solo journey. No matter how talented, disciplined, or driven you are, the people around you will shape your path more than you realize. They influence your mindset, your habits, and even your sense of what's possible. Think about it. Have you ever been in a room where negativity fills the air, where every idea is shot down, where people complain more than they take action, where excuses replace effort? In that kind of environment, even the most ambitious person will start to shrink. Self-doubt creeps in, energy drains, the fire that once burned inside begins to dim. Now contrast that with the opposite. Imagine being surrounded by people who challenge you, who push you to be better, who believe in you even when you doubt yourself. In that space, you grow. You stretch beyond what you thought was possible. You take risks, not because you're fearless, but because you know you have a support system that will catch you if you fall. Every great achiever in history had a team, a mentor, or a community that fueled their journey. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak. Michael Jordan had Phil Jackson. Even the most self-made success stories were never truly alone. Because here's the reality. Who you surround yourself with will either elevate you or hold you back. And it's not just about direct influence, it's about the standards they set. If you spend time with people who settle for mediocrity, who cut corners, who avoid discomfort, you will subconsciously start adopting those same behaviors. But if you are around people who strive for excellence, who hold themselves accountable, who push through difficulty, you will rise to meet that level. The conversations you engage in daily shape your mindset. If your circle constantly talks about problems, you will focus on obstacles. If they talk about ideas, solutions, and growth, you will develop a mindset that sees opportunities instead of limitations. And this isn't just about personal ambition, it's about energy. There are people who drain you and people who fuel you. Some relationships leave you exhausted, questioning yourself, doubting your abilities. Others leave you energized, inspired, ready to take on the world. So the question is, who are you choosing to let into your space? Are they people who make you better, who challenge you to grow, who call you out when you make excuses? Or are they people who keep you stuck in the same patterns, who make you feel guilty for wanting more, who reinforce limitations instead of possibilities? The right people don't just support you when things are easy, they push you when things get hard. They don't just celebrate your wins, they remind you of your strength when you feel like giving up. They hold you to a higher standard, not because they want to control you, but because they see something in you that you might not even see in yourself. And sometimes this means making difficult choices. It means distancing yourself from negativity, even when it's uncomfortable. It means seeking out mentors, even when it feels intimidating. It means building relationships that are based on mutual growth, not just familiarity or convenience. Because at the end of the day, the people you surround yourself with will either fuel your potential or limit it. They will either inspire you to rise or give you permission to stay where you are. Motivation feels good. It's that surge of energy when inspiration strikes, when you watch an uplifting video, when you hear a powerful speech, or when you set a new goal. In those moments, everything feels possible. You're ready to take on the world, to change your habits, to push beyond limits. But then, what happens? The feeling fades, the excitement wears off, life gets busy, obstacles show up, and suddenly that motivation you relied on is nowhere to be found. That's the problem with motivation. It's unpredictable. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you wake up feeling unstoppable. Other days you can barely get out of bed. If motivation is the only thing driving you, you'll only take action when you feel like it. And that's not how success is built. This is why discipline matters more than motivation. Discipline is about showing up regardless of how you feel. It's about doing the work even on the days when you're tired, uninspired, or uncertain. It's about committing to the process, not just when it's exciting, but especially when it's difficult. Think about the greatest athletes, the best musicians, the most successful entrepreneurs. Do you think they rely on motivation every day? Do you think they wake up every morning feeling excited to train, to practice, to work? Of course not. But they do it anyway, because they know that success isn't about waiting for the right mood. It's about taking action over and over again until the results come. Discipline creates consistency, and consistency is what separates those who succeed from those who almost succeed. A writer who waits for inspiration will never finish a book. But a disciplined writer who commits to writing every day, even when the words don't flow, will eventually create something great. A musician who only practices when they feel like it will never master their craft, but the one who plays their instrument daily, even when progress feels slow, will continue improving. A business owner who only works hard when sales are up will never build something sustainable. But the one who stays committed, even when things are uncertain, will outlast the competition. Discipline removes emotion from the equation. It teaches you to act based on commitment, not on fleeting feelings. It makes success inevitable because when you put in the work consistently, progress becomes a matter of when, not if. And the irony? When you stay disciplined long enough, motivation actually follows. The more you show up, the more progress you make. The more progress you make, the more motivated you feel. But it starts with discipline first. Most people wait for motivation to take action. The most successful people take action regardless of motivation. And that's why they win. In a world that celebrates success, failure often carries a heavy stigma. It's seen as the opposite of success, something to be avoided at all costs. When we fail, we feel embarrassed, ashamed, or defeated. We start questioning ourselves, doubting our abilities, and wondering if we're even cut out for the journey we're on. But what if we've been looking at failure all wrong? What if, instead of seeing it as an obstacle, we saw it as an opportunity? Here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. It's an integral part of the process that leads to mastery, growth, and achievement. No one who has achieved anything significant has done so without facing failure. In fact, failure is often the most valuable teacher we encounter on the road to success. When we fail, we don't just learn what went wrong. We gain insight into what needs to be adjusted, refined, or improved. Failure forces us to face our weaknesses, to confront the areas where we still have room to grow. It teaches us resilience, persistence, and the ability to adapt. The truth is, the more you fail, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the closer you get to success. Think of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 1,0,0,0,0 ways that won't work." Each of those failures wasn't a defeat, but a step forward. They were pieces of the puzzle that eventually led to his great discoveries. Without those failures, Edison would not have had the understanding or the innovation to succeed. Or consider J.K. Rowling, whose Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by 12 publishers before it was finally accepted. Each rejection was a failure, but rather than giving up, she used it as fuel to keep going. She refined her story, improved her craft, and eventually became one of the most successful authors in history. Had she seen rejection as an end rather than a beginning, the world would have never known the magic of Hogwarts. Failure is not a final verdict on our potential, it's a stepping stone. It's the process of testing, adjusting, and refining. The people who succeed are not those who avoid failure, but those who embrace it as part of their journey. They understand that failure isn't a sign to stop, it's a sign to keep going, to learn, and to grow strong. The fear of failure often keeps people from even trying. They're so focused on the idea of perfection that they avoid taking risks or pursuing their dreams. But in doing so, they miss the greatest lessons that failure has to offer. Success doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from learning how to fail well. It comes from developing the resilience to stand back up each time we fall. And here's a powerful realization. Failure is not just about what happens when things go wrong. It's about how we respond. Failure can either defeat us or it can fuel us. It can either cause us to shrink back in fear or propel us forward with even greater determination. The difference lies in our perspective. When you redefine failure as a stepping stone, you stop seeing it as something to fear and start seeing it as something to embrace. Each failure becomes an opportunity to refine your approach, to test new ideas, to push your boundaries, and to evolve. Failure stops being a setback and starts being a part of your growth story. The most successful people aren't those who fail the least. They're the ones who fail the most and learn the most from it. They see each failure as feedback, each mistake as an opportunity, and each setback as a lesson on the road to success. Failure is not a final destination. It's a detour, a momentary pause that helps guide you to where you need to be. Success is not about luck, talent, or waiting for the perfect moment. It's built through purpose, discipline, resilience, and the people we surround ourselves with. It's not about chasing outcomes, but committing to the process. It's not about avoiding failure, but learning from it. The truth is, your full potential isn't something you find, it's something you build step by step through the choices you make every day. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to be the most talented person in the room. What you do need is the willingness to show up, to put in the work, to push through resistance, and to trust that every step forward, no matter how small, is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. The blueprint for success isn't a secret formula. It's a commitment to growth, a refusal to settle, and a belief that what you do matters. So stop waiting, stop doubting, start building, because everything you need to unlock your full potential is already within you.